the changes that was approved by you, if it would be brought, well, I mean, brought back to us. If it's going to be brought back to the full CBOC commission,
No, it's being brought back to the facility subcommittee.
yeah, see now,
It's not go back,
Gotta go to the trustees.
now, what happens, what happens if, no, I'll be out there. I was gonna say, what happens if I came to the meeting and asked everybody to come over? What happens if someone could do? I mean, you can, well, right now, we're late. I mean, you know,
No, we're not,
we're
no.
behind time. This should have started the audit in May. We're now in August and September. Okay. So, I mean, you know, it's gonna be late now.
It's not,
You know.
no, that's incorrect. The audit is due to the CBOC on March 31st. I am confident that we can start this process in February and still get it to you. It's like your taxes. Your taxes are due next April, and we're in August of this year. So, I mean, no, you're just, to say we're behind normal schedule, yes. Are we way behind where we're not getting caught up? The answer there is no.
Charlie? Can I ask a question about the timeline that I think affects our discussion with, like, you're saying, here's this document, which is basically our working document, that's actually from Anton, his letter. You're saying you agree to all of these except for 2 of the items, and that's just with questions.
Correct.
So to me, the normal process would be whether we vote formally, or you just take what we seem to be saying, we're just nodding our heads when you say, oh, I can do that, that you would revise the RFP and then
It's not so much-
show us a copy of the RFP with that language in it. And then, so is there a time, so you, from what I'm hearing you say, there's no time constraint,
No.
really? You could.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be the RFP. What we would do, we'd add it into their contract. We would add as an addendum to the contract, all these issues, or points and items that has to be done during the audit.
So when would we see, so if we wanted to see it that it
Well-
had been incorporated in writing, when would we see that?
You would see that when the contract has been approved by the board.
Okay, but can we see it before, because if you're trying to get our input on the scope, and the scope is incorporated in the contract, then you would wanna come back to us to make sure, like ratifying that we were all on the same wavelength before, just as a continuous feedback thing.
But the thing is, like, we're looking at it now, we're adding this to the document, to the contract. There's not gonna be items, lines of,
I think, Martin, what he's saying is check and balances, is that if it's proposed that this be included with the exceptions, that the committee get another pair of eyes on it, knowing that the district is going to ratify.
Well, no, that's not quite what I meant. I just meant, if you're being very accommodating to
Right.
Mr. John Hare too, because this
Right.
is his document and it's kind of aligns with what the committee's talking about. So the real question is, how do we, in order to really be comfortable, we would want to see it in writing before it's approved somehow. So you're saying that it would be in the contract.
we'd add.
So would there be a way for us to, at least as a
Yeah.
subcommittee, to review the preliminary contract, to make sure, so that we're reassured that it's put in the way that we.
Martin, what's the contract procedure? I think that's what he's
Usually we
basically
send
trying to
it,
get
like, we put it on consent item for the board, but we could do something where you see it.
Okay.
I think, the idea is not for me to sit here and say yes, and then 2 weeks later, pull some of these items out. There's no upside to that.
Well,
We just
accidents
was trying
can
to work in a collaborative way with CBOC, and I have
Mhm.
tried before, and I want, especially with Mr. Jett, I want to try and get through his differences. What items he wants to see, maybe we can work through it. In the past, there were some roadblocks put up. Those roadblocks are down now, and we're gonna make a very strong effort to work together with anything you want. So just ask him, we'll get into it.
I'd be in the air. I'm getting out of the couch.
But it can be done.
The item on page 1 and 2 by Anton, basically those are financial. That should be a part of the financial audit,
Which part?
on page 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Oh, of
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
Martin, can you explain the 2 audits for everyone in attendance that actually occurred?
Okay, we have actually
So
3
we-
audits.
Yes.
We have a financial audit of the entire district, which includes the bond part. We have a bond financial audit, and then we have a performance audit. So,
And the difference between?
the difference between them is the financial audit is looking at the finances and internal controls of the entire district, of which the bond is a big part of, and which they look at. The bond financial audit itself just bores down on the numbers. So usually there's not too many findings there, and it's strictly what it is. Now, Mr. Jett in the past has said that we give different numbers, but we don't. And the bond financial audit, we do by series. On the bond, on the
I
financial
looked at
audit,
the report now, don't say that, I looked at
you
the
can
report.
look at it. We,
I looked at the
I
report.
tell you what, bring
I
it,
should be able to pick up the report that you gave us and drop it into your combining financial statements on the district. I can't do it,
I'll walk you through it.
we tried it. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, just,
No.
I should be able to pick it up and set it down. You know that's correct.
I haven't been auditing, I'm out of the audit profession for about 20 years, so, but literally, they do give you different looks at it, because the bond financial audit does by measure, the financial audit does by issue, and the performance audit is by a little of both. So it's a little confusing, but it's not different numbers. If anyone has any questions about how our numbers add up, or how, how one audit compares to the other, come to the district and we'll show you. I mean, that's all we can do, really. We're not trying, it's one set of numbers they use for all the audits, it's no different numbers.
Norm?
Thanks. So I want to walk away having an understanding of why 15 and 16 aren't either doable or agreeable. And so here's what I'm taking away. Number 15, deliver performance audit report as follows. There are a number of different timelines that are at play, and it gets a little confusing. I think in essence what you said is that the reports are issued at a time when it's feasible, given when the auditors are on site and the work that they have to collect, the information they have to collect, and they're not going to produce a report that's going to be complete, legible, readable, because they will just have been done, they will have just been done with their work. So there's also reference to timelines as per the Ed Code. So there are a lot of different timelines at play, and I would suggest, could we have, as part of the contract as well, that would be available to any one of us, so somewhat of a grid or some visual that overlaps the timelines, the dates when the auditors are going to actually do the work. You mentioned, things are done in May, June, October, and then January. Those kind of big header, month by month, along with relative to what the Ed Code might require, but isn't going to be applicable necessarily. Just, I'm not sure if I made myself clear, but just something that will allow us to see what is going to be doing and what isn't, because there are lots of things here.
Okay, in number 15, it's asking for a half-year audit. So on the first period covered, we do a year at a time, and like I said, all entities do. If you find one that doesn't, let me know. So the plan would be to, the yearly audit would be on July 1, so 2013 through June 30, 2014, and it would be due March 31st. Our goal is,
It says December 31st.
that's incorrect.
Wait.
No, that's his recommendation.
That's a recommendation from
But
management.
it's in the RFP,
So it's
January
not-
31st.
Well, that's
What's the realistic to do? So to get it in March of the next year?
No, that's the deadline. March 31st is the deadline. It's like your taxes. Your taxes are due April 15th.
I know, but we're talking about a fiscal year from July
Right.
to June. So you're saying we're not gonna get that until March of the next year,
That's
after
what-
June?
That's when it's due. We will try to get it to you in January. You gotta
That
remember,
seems
our
kinda
books
late.
don't close until the middle of September. Our books are not closed officially until the middle of September.
And this is part of it,
Okay,
right?
This
so
is part
middle
of
of
it.
September,
It's not like, okay, middle of September, then,
so
okay.
December should be.
Well, all the audit firms have to do school districts audits. They're all due by December 15th.
There's just one audit firm doing all the schools?
No, but there's not that many. I mean, literally, it's a small niche. So what'll happen is, they'll concentrate on all the firms from October through November. Will
Okay,
be the school district, like, we have a financial auditor and the regular school audit. They're both the same firm. They will come and do the school audit, October and November, and then they'll finish up the bond audit in December, January. Now, if we're on the ball, we can get it in early January. You know what I mean? Depending on how we schedule it and how everything goes. This year, we are behind on our work. We're not behind on, like, the audit's not overdue, which is said in the paper last weekend. But our goal every year is to get it to your committee in early January. so that